I'm the scat man. Yo do do do. Slimmy limmy ding yo do do do. Yo do do ba 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 do. Ba 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 do. Wee ba 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 do.
Still no copyright claims there. We're doing well. Let's go. Puck Props presented by Bet99. Josh Ingles. Andy Francess here today, coming off a day after two of Andy's favorite coin terms, clenched butt cheeks in Montreal, Tampa Bay, and roller hockey up in Colorado. On display shows you how different it is from the beginning of a series to an end of series in what? I mean, the 2-1 game where Montreal wins with the least amount of shots in a playoff win in history. How was your Sunday? Because it looks like the people in the chat who a lot have to do with you are having a pretty good Monday.
There may be a contingent of people around this world that despise me for miscellaneous reasons. I give them quite a few, but I think even if they get out of the sport, even if they aren't better sports fans, they stop watching sports, they have kids, they have new hobbies. I think anytime they're just walking on the street and they look at the TV and they just happen to see it's playoff time and it's a game 7, they'll always know that bastard is out there somewhere placing unders and winning on them. I like, if there's something, here lies Andy. He told me to always take the Olympic gold medal unders. He told me to take game 7 unders. It's just what I'm going to be remembered for. Now, I know if you're a hockey fan, you're saying, what do you mean? We always know. But sometimes think about the casuals just getting into hockey. Every once in a while, it won't come through, but there are so few opportunities to grab the clenched cheeks unders. And it doesn't matter. You say low and they will go even lower. The total moved to an even 5 and it's still cleared with ease. Any sort of both teams to score in a period or both teams to score 2, any under you hit, that's what we live for. At least that's what I live for. At least any sort of unders in a clench cheek game 7. It's basically a year of giving out picks just to get to a game 7. That's why I'm here, and it was great to see. And the roller hockey, we can talk about that separately. That was also awesome to see. It was very reminiscent. I'll keep going back to the Stanley Cup run for Colorado. If you watched them play Edmonton in game 1, that's kind of what it looked like with even more goals this time around. It was a treat to see because, you weren't really expecting it with the way those two teams were playing. And I don't know, it was enjoyable. I told people in the chat, I was like, this comes around once every couple of years. So just enjoy this game while it's there.
How's this for Coach of the Year and MVP candidate? 4 straight playoff series losses. Kucherov 1 goal in his last 22 playoff games. Game 7s, he's had 7. 0 points. It's a show. We saw, I think it was like in the last minute and a half, I think he was on the sidewall and he tried to pass it back to Radish or something, and it wasn't a pass. And you could just see him. He was visibly frustrated through the entirety of the playoffs. And yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting to be like, John Cooper's awesome. Nikita Kucherov's your MVP. And that's kind of what you get versus a Montreal team that is the beauty of hockey. Outplayed, outshot. And in hockey, you can play harder. You can step up. You can be Philly Deneau. I don't know if you saw that one, Andy. Philly Deneau trying to smother the puck with like 3 minutes left. And the only reason they blew the whistle was because Tampa Bay guys were just like Zorroing him in the corner and they were worried about his health. That's what you get in clenched cheeks, game 7. And Montreal, absolute dogs. Jakub Dobish, since the change at goalie coach for Montreal, and the team has like a .916 save percentage. It's been incredible. Where are you on the price? Because we knew the odds makers absolutely loved Tampa Bay all year, all around. I think Montreal was plus 150 for the series, and this game didn't have like a 2-goal lead for the entirety of it. It was a tight series. Montreal won plus 135, even money, and plus 150 in that series. Now they face maybe arguably a better Buffalo team, and the series price is a coin flip. Do you think that's an adjustment on Montreal or just a stubbornness from the odds makers where it's like, yeah, this Tampa Bay team is elite when maybe they aren't?
I gotta say that I think the odds makers, they have a similar mindset that I do, as they will refuse to believe a new playoff team until they show them something. And I believe they lump Buffalo and Montreal in that category where we don't know. I don't know. I don't know how this series is going to go, this next one. So that's probably indicative of minus 110. They trust those who have been there, which is why, you get the Avalanche, who are massive favorites over. I mean, if you think of this, how good Minnesota looked last round, to make the Avs a huge favorite, to make Carolina a massive favorite. They trust the teams that have been on runs before. And yes, Montreal was outplayed in that game. I'd love to say Montreal didn't deserve the series. They did deserve the series. There were games they lost, they could have won, and that was their pay it forward moment. They won a game they should have lost. I think they could have won 2 games that they should have lost earlier in the series. We talked about Tampa. Who is this Dominic James guy? And are we going to rely on him in April? And Gage Gonsalves might have been their best player in the last 3 games. But even with that said, when you're not starting the Kucherov unit, when your power play's out there, that's the downfalls of having a team like that. That's so heavily built around a power play player who can get easily frustrated. The Panthers, it's one thing if the Panthers do it to you, because we know they'll screw you every way till Sunday. Bennett coming in, Kachuk coming in, and I could understand that. He has to come through against a team like Montreal. He just has to, and he did not. So.
Absolutely did not. The late game as well. 9-6. Awesome. I'm not going to lie. 3-0 to 3-3 to down 5-4 shorthanded goal. But I good thing I spelled. What am I doing? What am I doing, Josh? Look at that. Hide it. Edit it. This is what happens when Josh is behind the bus.
Don't worry about it. Sometimes when I say something like that was a really bad performance, but I put an F instead of a D. It was a typo. They go, a baff performance? Someone will say that. I'm like, can you really not understand what I tried to write when I said that was a really B.A. performance? A bad performance. What is a baff performance? You know what I mean. You knew what Josh meant.
How bad is Minnesota down the middle right now with no Eriksson Ek? Like their list of centermen facing Colorado in this series is atrocious. It's Hartman, who's actually playing fantastically. And then you go Daniel Yurov, who's basically a rookie, McCarron and Sturm. And those are your centermen that you have to face versus maybe the best centered line team in all of hockey in Colorado. If Eriksson Ek and Jonas Brodin can't get back, I think Minnesota might only win 1 game in this series at best.
Once again, we saw Colorado go down in a game. And they said, no, nope, that does not happen. And in a minute and a half, just like the LA game where they went down. It was good to see that they can turn the Jets, and it provides all the proof that I needed that this is not the previous 2 Colorados. McKinnon did something, or the team didn't score. They got goals from the 4th line. They got a goal from Kadri. Nichushkin on the 2nd line was creating goals. They got goals from all 4 lines, offense from all 4 lines, and that's something that they couldn't rely upon. And most importantly for us, McKinnon is just going to keep sneaking an empty net goal here and there, and then you say, yeah, but I mean, you think they're going to remember 2 rounds from now? They're going to look at that inflated goal total. They're going to see he has the most points, and you're going to see the Conn Smythe numbers continue to dip, which has already started. So the scam is underway, officially underway. 3-point game for McKinnon, and hey, did we lose Wedgwood from the Conn Smythe?
And that's it. Everybody, when we clip that you talking about it, and everyone's like Wedgwood. The goalie thing, it takes like 1 or 2 games of like this, and it's gone. Right? Like you have to
gives up another 4. Good. He's not playing game 3.
Yeah, like it's trouble. And that is the variance with picking goalies in Conn Smythe. I'm happy to be someone with Jakub Dobeš, but like those can get blown up quickly. And to your point, plus 600, McKinnon opening, Conn Smythe finishes 4 games, goes to round 2. We talked about it last Monday, plus 550. 3-point game, plus 450 now. Still maybe even a little long.
It's still good.
Yeah, it's still
It's
good.
still good. And you got lucky because Makar had a great game. So they had to help Makar's odds a lot, which kept they're doing everything they can for you. They're holding those odds up like Weekend at Bernie's to give you some final chances to get it.
Oh, that's a good one. No, and it will be interesting to see because Makar did win it when they won the cup previously. And if it's like if point totals are the same and their production in the finals is the same,
it's going to McKinnon.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Speaking of probably shouldn't be in the playoffs, Philadelphia here. Just absolute case of perfect hockey from Carolina. Perfect hockey. Again.
Yeah.
The time off, the rust. They're going to be rusty. No, they weren't.
There are teams you can be rusty against, and then like I don't think Carolina looked as shot out of a cannon as they were going to be. I mean, they played very well, but like I've seen them hold the speed burst down, and it's a kind of different. There couldn't be a better situation. How bad did Philly look in some of those games to end the Pittsburgh series? It just continued on. They couldn't score a lot in games 4, 5, 6, just continued right into game 1.
Versus an over wagon in Pittsburgh, right? Like, oh, they made the move to Shilovs. Now we can't find one. And Carolina at home, it doesn't matter who's in net, right? You can laugh that it's like, oh, Freddie Anderson's burning you, but Carolina at home over the last, basically since the entirety of the Rob Brindamore era, they're just an elite team. Like over the course of 6 years, their home numbers are insane, and they'll continue to be insane. And we'll get to those right now because I don't know how anybody's looking. We saw a price adjustment on the team total. It was 2.5. I think it was minus 150 in game 1. And you're like, it's kind of, and now it's like minus 180. And you see you're finding a way to get some unders on this because Carolina just shells up, and that's what they do when they get a lead. I did love that Goss to spare price running a power play 1 and the team total. I mean, we're now at the point where it's like, instead of looking at the 2, you got to look at the 1, and that's a good number.
Yes. So I'm actually wondering, I don't know if you saw the little scheduling, not a gaffe, but just the way it's going to play out, because the team in the East that they're going up against happened, or the other side of the bracket happened to go 7 games. And this series already started over the weekend, that if Carolina sweeps them and the other series goes to 7, they will have over 2 full weeks off. So I'm a little worried for them. And now look, they have a real conference final grudge, and they want to erase that stain. But man, playing the Flyers, and if you get through them easily, just sitting around for I get 1 week. Colorado was just sat around for 1 week, and it felt like how long? Add double that, and that's what it would be. I just found that pretty interesting.
The Wednesday game's crazy for the Habs series, right? Like, you're like, okay, they're just trying to fill in spots. It's such a marketing commercial thing where it goes, and they had to start this series on Saturday because on Friday, if all the teams that have won, who could have finished the series, if Montreal had won that game, there would have been no hockey on the weekend. Unless they started the Colorado series, right? It would have just been Colorado, and that's it.
If they sweep this series, that means you're going to have 2 weeks of intense prep for both of those teams and a lot of dissecting what those teams do. So I would imagine that's good for like things like the special teams. But as far as tonight's game 2, I let off when I was looking at these games to the people on my Patreon. I said, hey, any sort of thing Carolina related, player, whatever you want to take that starts with the word under, you don't have to ask me. I support. Which player? Yeah, I support
under.
Taking the under.
That's
anybody. anybody. So that's kind of how I feel about Philly until they break through. Like you need some sort of specialty. Their power play. I mean, it just makes me feel good as an Islander fan that somebody else has to deal with that type of misery on the power play for a full decade, because that's where the Flyers are. The most unreliable of power plays. And I bet you, like, I want to give double and triple unders. You know, they're rolling out new lines all the time now because nothing's going to work.
Yeah. And that's it. I got it written down. I'm like, find any line combination, like run. We have such an advantage as bettors right now because everybody's opening up. Why can't I think of it? It was always Kerfoot. Like when Alex Kerfoot is available for point props, that means like you can go full third line unders. So this is a spot where I think the game's probably, I'm assuming it's at 7. It might be at 7:30. You get the starting lines, blah, 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 15 minutes before. So set your alarm, find the Philly lines, and go across the board, because I think it was Dvorak, and they did blow them up. Like Dvorak, Martone, and Konechny line. I think you get like plus 220. So that's the highlight.
So if they kept Dvorak and Konechny together, they were together, and then even after the juggle. So maybe if that duo's glued together, that duo also plays on the same power play. You can do that duo if you can't check 15 minutes before. That's your best. You're probably your best chance of two line mates who will stay together if you want to go double unders on that.
And I'm just going, Martinook and Stahl. Like I know that the problem with Carolina is, and it's like to get really heavy on it and like, okay, let's go back to the Stanky line. When they have the lead, those guys are playing 14 minutes, 13 minutes, and everybody's touching the ice. And when they're playing with the lead, and we talked about it last week as well, Stahl and Martinook are going over to close up the game. There'll be empty net opportunities there.
They rotate with them, with those two, and Aho Jarvis.
Yeah,
like those two and Aho Jarvis are the two duos. If you're seeking empty net scams, don't you have a last goal scam? Don't you have I've never.
No, well, you can increase your last goal. Like you can always put that team money line. Like if you're just hunting, if your whole handicap's on last goal, just add that team's money line for an extra, like sometimes 500 points.
-2.5 Martinook last goal, something like that.
Oh, you could like that. That's what I would do more or less, probably on elimination stuff. But we're seeing goalies get pulled at 4 here. Martinook last goal is. If there was a poster boy for that last goal market, and you're only looking at like your only angle at it is empty net opportunities, then it's Martinook. And if you had Slafkovsky for last goal yesterday, I don't know if you saw his 1-on-0 versus a defenseman move. That was maybe the worst. If that came back to bite him, Montreal would have absolutely killed him. But Montreal style plus 425. I was expecting like plus 325 maybe, but once you get into the 4s for any combo, I'm in. And then where do I go with the team total under? Where do I take Andy's approach? And like, where can I grease something around? We'll go Aho point. Like the Aho points, usually his market's 1.5. His market's 0.5 or whatever, half. So we add that. He's like -200. And the Philly team total is -170. Put them together. I didn't think I'd get a price like this. That's where.
Yeah. See, I never know if I should bring in the exotic. Like I live for things like this.
Yes.
Like I live for things like just trying to find something on one side that I really, really like. And then something where, okay, now let's just take a single over from Aho. We get a cheap empty net point, and all of a sudden, yeah, I like that. What I did with the under 2.5, I think I added. Now not maybe last game I did it with Jarvis, but this game, like if I wanted to take the under 2.5 and just add in one of those Philly bums to get the under 2.5. Like if they're under 2.5 and you take someone like Michkov, who I did with the under 6.5 there, then you're getting it at plus 105. So, if they score 3 goals, is Michkov going to be in on one of them? Maybe. So I just look at it. If I'm going to do, you see what I do with the under 6.5? I try to add what I like to call dusty unders. You add the dustiest player to bring it to a plus money. Josh did it in a way I like, where he used someone on the other side who's likely for a point. Aho going back-to-back games, pointless? Nah.
Martinook has 1 point in the playoffs. That doesn't bother me at all. We know who Jordan Martinook is. I wouldn't be surprised.
Big point, though.
What's that?
Big point. That was a big point, though, that overtime goal.
Oh yeah, he's maybe one of the most unreliable, unsung guys in that Carolina team. That if they don't have someone like him, they're not the same team when it comes down to games 6 to 12 in the playoffs.
Also, Carolina had a top 4 power play. You're getting the cold power play number for Shane Gostisbehere. This is going to start coming through with regularity. You can take the assist for plus 190 if you'd like, but this is a number that's very hard to say no to. You see what Shea Theodore did once he was elevated to the top power play. He went from no points to points in every single game since he was elevated to that. So, I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know, it really is an advantage. Ty goes to the power play, and to get that plus 135, if this would have hit in game 1, that's minus 105.
There's also a weird thing because it's like his time on ice. Like it's not him that gets the 20 plus on that team, right? Jacob Slavin's out there skating his little butt cheeks off, being one of the best unsung defensemen in all of hockey. He gets 23 minutes. But Gostisbehere's minutes are more offensive zone opportunities. Like he gets the good. He gets first picks when it's like, okay, the second day of Thanksgiving, which of the pies do you want? Well, they ate all the apple pie yesterday, so we'll go coconut cream. And that's where we get with, I don't even know who I was talking about. I got excited with coconut cream. Gostisbehere, key minutes, 17, 18 minutes, but offensive zone opportunities. And as Andy said, PP1 stuff. I looked at that immediately. Plus 135 for a power play 1. For the number 1 power play in hockey over the year, that's a hell of a praise.
Yeah, so
let's roll to this game. And I think, like, as we know, as the playoffs go on, like the stacks and the combos are a lot tougher to hit. Like going 3 people is kind of crazy thinking.
Yeah.
Game 1 of this series, though, right? Like this could be loose. I know even I had the Vegas over in game 6, needed the empty netter, but 5-1 still. Sorry, the 5.5. This one could be loose because the Anaheim-Edmonton series minus the last game, I think both teams scored 3 in every game. I think at Bet99, both teams over 2.5 team total is like plus 130. Carter Hart is not a good goaltender. Lucas Dostal gave up goals versus an Edmonton team who was sporting a very injured Draisaitl and a broken foot McDavid. Kreider. Like, there's so many different angles. Like, you're going power play 1, top line Kreider. You're going power play 1, big minutes Theodore, and you're going assist because you don't want to pay the juice. I think Anaheim at plus 140. I think when we get to this point of the year, 140 is too long on any side. Howden playing with Stone and Marner. That's where I'm going 135. And the McTavish point, there's a sneaky look. Plus 500 for that Cutter Gauthier McTavish Poling line. Poling's not the glue guy there, and it's McTavish and Gauthier together, but there are some looks, and I think there are some opportunities for point combos in this series. How are you looking at it?
So first of all, just while it's on the top of my mind, something that I brought up, last week I got real pissed. I gave that Seneca plus 500 something power play point. Now, I don't give power play points a lot, but I know people like them, so I want to bring a good one to their attention. In that very game, the other 2 guys, McTavish, Killorn, both got the same price. I just happened to pick the guy because I said the second power play usurped the top power play because of how many times Gauthier was popping them in. So first run goes to the second unit at the moment, which makes that McTavish point that much better. The reason I went with Kreider is because I got a lot of faith in Leo Carlsson being the main driver for that team. So I think those 2 for a point together is plus 210. So that's kind of why I went with Kreider. But any sort of guys who are on that second power play, McTavish included, I think are great plays. My one concern here, because my immediate thought was what you just said, like, if you look earlier in that Utah series, Utah's coming back, they're scoring a bunch of goals, and then you have the chaos in the Anaheim-Edmonton series. My one concern is that Vegas just had a series dealing with a team very similar with, you know, speed, skill, trying to play an offensive brand, and that worked on them early. My concern is how they closed that series, locking down those players in that closeout game. I'm a little worried they're going into this game with a lot of defensive confidence.
I feel Anaheim.
Worry.
Anaheim's like Utah light, or sorry, Utah is Anaheim light.
I agree.
Right? Anaheim's like when you trust Carlson because Carlson's a beast. I'm becoming a bigger fan of Cutter Gauthier, and I think he could be like a top 5 finisher in the NHL. Utah has that, but not at that level, it feels like.
Yeah, those two guys specifically seem like they have higher ceilings than Gunther and Keller.
Now you got Carlson and Jackson Lacombe, and like it's a lot better than the Sergachev situation. And
yes, yeah, you're right. So yeah, it is a Paul Walker Noss version of it where it is ramped up.
Yeah, so I do think Anaheim gives them a little fight, but at the end of the day, we're here in the Pacific in the second round, the scam division of the year, and we still don't know what we'll get in this series. No?
Is my boy Wild Bill going to play? I love that guy.
But what do we expect? Like nothing in the Pacific has been good. Vegas was terrible all year versus playoff teams. I think they lost like 25 straight games it seemed like, and they couldn't do anything. Let's get the likes up, people. Josh and Andy always give great work. Thank you, J Metal K. We're not even worried about the likes today. We're just getting into it. The responsibility is on you guys because we tell you if you don't do it, you're going to lose, and that should be just a given now.
Should we be pricks and say, like, this is a consolation bracket, that this is the Pittsburgh?
This is the Pittsburgh Philly of the West?
I will give Vegas a little more respect than that simply because they have some veteran defensemen. They have some veterans on there who, you know, in a closeout game that looked like a closeout effort. It's just not as good as the previous Vegas teams. I just do not think I think they could maybe beat Minnesota. So if I'm a Vegas fan, just cheer for by hook or by crook for Minnesota to get through that series. Colorado would destroy this Vegas team.
Yeah, I agree. So what score in this game would surprise you?
You're not going to like this. 5-4.
5-4 would surprise you?
I have a sneaking suspicion Vegas is going to play good defense tonight. It's just a sneaking suspicion.
Yeah, maybe my recency bias of round 2, game 1s of last night's 15-goal outburst. Oh, yeah, we're going to run the Colorado team total up to 8.5 tonight. We'll play the over-under team total letter.
I'll tell you that. Remember I said it looked like game 1 against the Oilers when they won the Cup? I believe it was the third round of the playoffs. It was like a 7-5. It was something like that. You want to know what game 2 was? I think it was like a 2-0 or 3-0 win.
No coach likes that hockey, right? Like that's the thing that's going to piss off both coaches. They're not going to be happy with the result. Like Bender's not going to be excited that they won that game 9-6. Like the onus
total 6.5. You know what I'm taking because game 1 was 5.5.
Yeah, there will be.
I know you don't want to click it, but that's what I'm giving out. So there's your little, warm up.
There'll be inflations around, and I don't think it will. It will continue. You're not going to see that again in that series. I don't think. You might not see either goaltender either. That's going to be interesting what both sides do because both sides obviously have some good goaltending that they can go through. But my surprise score in this game would be like Anaheim 3-0. Anaheim needs to I know I'm on Anaheim money line and that's on the side there, but like Anaheim 3-0, Vegas 3-0, something like we saw in the Philadelphia Carolina series. We're not going to see that. I feel like
you're right. 3-0 Anaheim. That actually is the most shocking score to me. That they just locked it down.
Down.
Yeah, you're right. That is way more unlikely than the one I gave out.
Jingles sure. Bonus was beside himself. On TNT with Minnesota, Colorado. I'm sure he's just talking about Rick Bonus being super angry about just like clean breakaway, shorthanded. Like no coach ever likes that. So go find a 15-goal game. Wait, bet the under. That's probably inflated as soon as that number comes out for game 2.
Yeah, him and Anson Carter were talking about how it was like ugly hockey. Bonus said he would have 100% pulled his goalie to send the message to the team that they have to change the way they're playing. You saw some of his old curmudgeon come out. It wasn't bad, but I was thinking about what we do here. The way you were talking about the Vegas Utah series, the same exact thing happened on the panel where they were like, this is like ugly hockey. Like this is not.
Yeah. And I'm getting
nobody's doing
roasted. They're like, that's entertaining hockey.
Exactly. You saw it was the exact convo, but people who are trying to watch teams win a cup, it's like, but this is not real. Like this is not how
not
you
real
win.
life.
So we're watching a weird outlier game. So that's something that we continue to see here. The entertainment versus
It's
actual
like the trailer,
hockey
like the
argument.
movie trailer, right?
Yeah.
Imagine
That is exactly
not making a trailer look entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, that trailer's really bad. I don't want to see that movie.
It would be nuts if the next game was like that. I can't remember the last time I seen something like that. Just two teams who were nasty defensively in round 1, and then all of a sudden, it's just barnyard bonanza every game in round 2.
Yeah, I think Wedge would finish like worse than 3 goals, minus 3 goals saved above expected. The shots were coming from far, off the wing, 2-on-1s, and just zoop. Goal, net. But as you said, probably won't see that. But I do like some looks in this. I think I have a 20-1 for my boosted stack at Bet99 today. We hit it on Saturday night. Missed it yesterday, but we go. I got to see what the boost is. Right now it's 20-1. And all it is the Hall line, the triple stack in Carolina. That one's been pretty good so far. And then the Cutter, Gauthier, McTavish, and the Poling line. And that might be the biggest double, triple stack that we've gotten in a long time.
You want me to make one up?
You got one? What do you got?
Well, you got to be
Why are you going?
Are you going around
triple?
these parts? So I'm going to go with the Hurdle Riley Smith stack. Anyone could get points against
No, that's
Anaheim.
what I'm saying. Like, take it in game 1 especially.
And then give me the full top line of Carolina.
Yeah,
it's gotta squeeze around plus 1,000. It's gotta. I'm hoping Hurdle and Riley Smith bring that whole combo to the promised land, because I know the first line in Carolina is not going to be priced that, fantastic.
What do you have? Hurdle, Smith,
Hurdle, Riley Smith, and then the top line for
just
Carolina.
The double. Yep. Let me throw that in there. And it is interesting to see because, that's why I threw Aho in with that team total under on the Philly side, because lines 2, lines 3, lines 4 in Carolina all playing the same amount at 5-on-5 basically. But that top line, they still get responsibilities on power play. They still get responsibilities when they're down a man, when it's 6-on-5 late on the penalty kill. Aho, Jarvis still playing 19+ minutes.
That line is going to start piling up some points.
I agree, and we have the whole line. Let's see what it is over Bet99.
The whole line's not going to be great. But...
Smith and Hurdle, 12.25. And as this is a Bet99 sponsored show, we can show that it's plus 661 over at DraftKings. See you later. Great odds over at Bet99.
Wow.
Plus 12.25.
Double the fun.
Double the fun. That's it. Do you want that? Do you want me to see if I can get that for you? Do you want to see if we can get that boosted or no?
Like, I don't want you to have to do any heavy lifting.
I don't know. Pretty boosted, difficult to hit the volume down and power button on my phone at the same time.
I got a pretty good track record on here with nailing during the season when I was filling in for you. I was able to either nail or just come a hair away. And for me, it's the Hurdle Riley Smith that stirs the strut. Yeah, I mean, look, we just need the top line to come through against a Flyers team. And then we need Anaheim to be Anaheim. I mean, they were giving up points to Kapanen, Podkolzin, and Vegas at home against Anaheim. Come on.
One of these two tickets is going to be live for the late game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, but you gotta feel good about the second line, actually. So first line or second line, I think we could both be live for that second game. Let's do it. Let's give us a good way to open up.
Yeah, I'll send that over to the boys over Bet99 and see if we can get that going. But hey, Monday coming off a great weekend. Last Monday was a great day. Both days from both of us last week as well. Back again tomorrow, 10 a.m. Thanks to everybody there in the chat. As always, I have to go get ready to go to a bowling alley until I bowl a 200 because I keep losing my own show. And I have a betting show where I have punishments and I keep losing it. So,
what about the other guy? Does he have punishments?
Yeah, but he beat me. It was a head-to-head thing, so he beat me.
So has he been scot-free? Hasn't had to do one?
No. I'm 4 and I think I'm 3-2 straight up. But
But does this guy have to do his punishments?
He walked like 10 miles or something.
I want this guy eating 10 pounds of mashed potatoes.
That's it. That's exactly what you want to see.
I want to see Gus from Pet Sematary 2, endless mashed potatoes thrust down his gullet. So that will be I'll
get that on the wheel. I'll get that on the wheel tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Endless mashed potatoes.
Yeah. 10 pounds of mashed potatoes. 10 pounds of food is crazy. I think like at the 5 pounds.
No. Whatever an absurd amount is that would be on like diners and drive-ins. A doable amount of mashed potatoes where he feels like garbage after.
There you go. All right. We'll get her on the wheel. But I appreciate it as always, my friend. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Everybody in the chat, appreciate it as well. Back again tomorrow. Puck Props presented by Bet99. Better prices than everywhere else. Let's go.
Yo Toronto, Slimmy Yo Toronto, Yo Toronto,